The screams of the dead man are so loud they rattle the cheap, rippled, bubbly glass in the peeling, painted window frames of this trashed studio.
JC, make him sit down. Make him sit down, JC. Make him sit down. Make him sit down. Let him up. Let him up.
You can see the muscles, which would normally be covered by skin, flexing as his hands are on the clutching the fabric of the armchair. His eyes, a brilliant blue, are rolling, and the scream just echoes and echoes. And JC is normally calm, normally ready. Instant action is standing uncertain.
I make my way behind the chair. I put JC on the side when I notice him hesitating. I put my hand on the mouth of that person sitting there, and very, very swiftly, with confidence, in the back of the chair, I whisper in his ear, "He will be all right. We will call. I'll call an ambulance just for you. I'll call an ambulance just for you."
The flesh under your fingers is not the warmth of living flesh. It's like meat on a plate. And that's too much.
My hand is firm. My stance is wide as I'm leaning down. I keep shooting him, and then I say, "I'm gonna let it go now of my hand. And I tell you, I'm gonna call an ambulance very soon. They're gonna arrive for you. But now, I let my hand go slowly."
Finally, his lungs have exhausted their air, and the scream dies away.
I say, "JC, go get me some water. Get me some water." And then I walk around the chair and I kneel in front of him. Gentle, take my hat off, put it on the side, gentle. I look at him. "What's your name? What's your name, good sir?" "My name is Jim. You can call me Jimmy. What's your name?" And I look at him right in the eyes.
It's, as you can imagine, incredibly difficult to reach someone who has traveled so far outside of human experience. Can you persuade him to connect with you?
I look at him. JC comes back, and I say, "Listen, I don't wanna be bothered. I don't wanna bother you too much." And I take the glass, and my hand take it. I kind of make it quick and try to reach his hand to get the glass and looking at JC. I said, "Ah, man, I think we could go now. Is the phone okay? Do you think the phone's working?"
Phone's on the ground floor.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Listen.
simple task of going to get the water seems to have helped JC get some of himself back, and he's taking his coat off to cover the man.
I helped him with the water, and
The water's just running through the
I
muscles over the
I
teeth.
when I noticing that I grabbed the glass of water, I put it on the side. We're gonna have to call an ambulance. We're gonna have to call an ambulance. JC, go downstairs. Please call an ambulance. I'll take care of it. I get closer and I speak to his ear and I say, "I'll be back in a second." And I go get a blanket in the bedroom. I take away JC's coat. I put the blanket on him, and then I whisper to his ear from the back, "I'll be back in a second." I grab my hat, go downstairs with JC. I call an ambulance. I just give the address. I shut it down, and we head toward the back door because the car is waiting there. I told Malcolm to.
The relief on his face is significant. Oh, I'm glad we're leaving.
Okay. We go outside and we get in the car. And we drive. When I get inside the car, I say, "Malcolm, drive."
So he drives.
When paper is worth more than the money printed on it, working men would rather risk blindness than stay sober, and an honest day's work pays in promises and stale bread. What kind of man turns to what cowards call crime, but name in their hearts as murder? Thumbs wag and fingers point at the gunsels, the black sheep, head shake, disapproval, and boasts of what would be different if someone had just taken charge, or if no rod had been spared on pinstripe boys playing as men. Things would be better if folk could just listen to me, they say, and sigh at the loss of the perfect world that could have been. With the broken dream of farmland blotting out the sun, with bankers proving Newton right and lurid splashes of failure along the cracked pavement of other people's hopes, with all the old lies tottering on crutches and frantic grins through the freshly painted doors of cathedrals and speakeasies alike. The kind of man asks if what he is thinking and doing is right. Not the killers, that's for damn sure.
A few intersections later, he says, "Are we driving somewhere?"
Let's drive for now, Malcolm. Take the hat off. Who do you think that was? JC.
Did you notice his eyes? They were really bright blue.
Not the raw real fantasy.
No, definitely not. Too small. Yeah.
Uh,
No.
if it's Caleb McGinnis, was he a red hair guy? Was he a red hair with blue eyes? I don't know the man. You seem to know him better than I.
Not eyes like that. You remember eyes like that.
Um, we need to find Rory. Um, we need to find Rory.
All right, well, Ron, kind of guy, introduces himself with no last name. He was telling those kids he chased Rory out of here. So either it's all a lie, he recognized the car, or he really did.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him. Rory would have stand his ground against such a prick. Okay, we have work to do. We have work to do. Let's go to the dock. Malcolm, Randall, you guys are ready? JC, you ready?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we have some job to do. We got some work to do. The boss wouldn't be happy if I don't come back with something to suit his mind. Let's go to the dock. Um, you know, get by the east entrance. Drive slow. I just want to take a look during daytime. We're gonna plan. We're gonna come back. Uh, we're gonna come back this evening, and you guys know what we gotta do. Gotta find Mickey's body. We gotta,
Good.
and we also gotta burn this place down with everything in it.
Malcolm kind of takes his eyes off the road for a second. Says, "And everyone in it?"
Except Mickey's body. Gotta we gotta get that buddy out. Yeah, that's the most important thing we gotta do.
So he's subtly changing direction and making his way toward the docks. Closer the car gets to the docks, the more sign of rebuilding. Cleaning windows, repainting signs, repainting lettering on on glass, doors and windows being fixed, roofs being fixed, sidewalks being swept, road being repaired. Just everywhere you look, there's small signs of change. And the deeper into that part of town the car goes, the more of this that's going on, until most of the buildings have already been repainted, have already been repaired, already have businesses restarting. Nothing like what it was when the O'Shaughnessy's ruled down here.
I let the car approach. I let Randolph bring the car. You know, deeper. And when I start to see the water, I say, okay, stop here. Randolph, stay in the car. Wait for us here. Malcolm, JC, you guys coming with me. We get out of the car and I say to the guys, I say, yeah, keep going. No heavy packing. Just gonna take a look around. What I want you to do is take a look, see about the activity, see if you recognize faces, see if you see a lot of men, the patterns, if they are guards, if you see a place that looks more guarded, or if you see a bunch of cars somewhere, look three cars, if you see them. And then we don't, we stay apart. We stay apart from one another. And then we come back here. And then we debrief together and go back to the boss. And then I start walking. And walking, just walking around, taking a look, looking at things, not particularly more than that. I'm looking at the Morgan, if I can find them, if I can see them. I'm looking at the buildings, the one that is supposed to contain Mickey's body, if I can locate it somehow. I'm going to take a look at inside the windows and go around, see if there is to locate the many entries to the building.
First, there's nothing unusual at all, other than so many buildings have a fresh coat of paint. So many people they look happy. Workers working. Deliveries being made. Over in the factory section with the apartments, right? Washing being done. Washing being hung up. Normal activity from a simpler time before the Depression, before Prohibition. So many places here were bars where sailors would kill themselves over insults, brothels, and then when Prohibition came, speakeasies and other semi-hidden dens of crime and vice. Gone. Erased. Painted over. here and there are signs of people and future. Just little signs, right, that say, thank you, people in future. Great work, people in future. But one familiar face is looking at you and also recognizing what he sees. Tall, broad shoulders, police uniform, walking with a big Irish smile on his big Irish face, spinning his police nightstick, right, whistling until he recognizes your face. And the smile gets even bigger, changes direction to head toward you. It's one of the Malone brothers. They're all cops. Cousins, uncles, sons, brothers, all cops, all crooked, all O'Shaughnessy men from the beginning. This one's name is Michael. Of course, they call him Big Mike.
I smile. I nod. For the first time in my life, I'm happy to see you, Big Mike.
Well, let me return the favor. For the first time in my life, I'm happy to see you looking so terrible.
Yeah. Well, what are these people in the future, you think? And I kind of point, behind me on the wall. I see signs everywhere. What are? And I saw them on the street, in my neighborhood, kind of street preaching. What they're all about? Have you heard about them?
I haven't seen you for years, and this is what you say to me? Why don't we sit on this bench, old man? You can ask me your questions.
Nah, you see, I'm old. I'm retired. What I do, if I sit, it's so hard on the knees when I stand up. I'd rather keep them liberal. If I hope you understand.
You won't even sit with me.
Well,
Mean
I can
old
stand.
man.
I'm not mean. I can stand with you. I want to stand with you. Come on, Mikey.
Then let's go down to the water's edge, where you tossed so many cold men to sink out of sight, never to be seen again. Let's do that, shall we, Jimmy?
I slowly start walking with him.
People in
Slowly.
future. People in future. Look around. All these changes.
I heard it was the
Clean
Morgan. I heard it was the Morgan.
Well, I don't think that's too far wrong to say that it's with the Morgan's backing that people in future gave people a future.
Mm, I see. I see. Hey, Big Mike. Did you happen to see or heard about Mickey's O'Shaughnessy story?
Are you asking for yourself or are you asking for your boss?
There's no difference between these two.
Okay. Did I hear the story of the fist? Sure. Because of him, I'm in such good condition now.
You thought you'd speak in riddles. I'm an old man. I don't understand what you mean. I'm gonna be straight to the point. Listen, I don't want to be here. You know, as much as you don't want to see me here. It's just that I heard some rumors that Mickey's body is somewhere in one of these hangars. And I know somebody who would be very, very, very happy if you could give us a help. Just a little hand, just to find the body, bring back the body. You know, Big Mike, you won't even have to live. You don't even have to crack a finger now. Just let me know.
Well, it's true. His body was here. But now it's not.
See?
You don't want me to be cryptic? I'll not be cryptic. It got up, it got mad, and it walked away. Believe me or not. Hand on my heart, I swear it's the truth.
You want to know what I don't believe? Can't believe that you say that with a candid voice, with a petty smile on your face, almost like it's a funny thing to say. That is hard to believe.
I guess it's because I know you won't believe me.
Yeah, well, funny enough, I believe you. Look, we can share some information, right? Let's some business of information. What do you think? I have something I can tell you that you might be happy to hear, and I want in exchange some information. All right? What do you think?
I'll give it a try. If your information's good.
My information is very, very good. You know your cousin from another mother, from another aunt?
Maybe.
Old Lou Malone. You must have heard of old Lou Malone.
Yeah, I know, Lou.
Yeah.
I know.
Cousin from another mother, from another cousin, from another uncle. Well, the Malones, you know, we all know the Malones are a big family. You guys are a big family.
Not as big as the O'Shaughnessy's.
Yeah, well. Listen, old Lou Malone, you have no legs. And pretty much no more finger left.
So you've seen Lou.
I've seen Lou. You've seen him as well?
Oh, yes. I was there when he was healed.
Oh. Would that happen that the people of the future who heal people like that? Because they told me in the street that they could heal me. They could heal every disease. They know a preacher or someone who heals people. So, is that the same person who heals the room alone, who heals the fist, that can maybe heal me as well?
twinkling, pale blue eyes, his smiling face becomes serious. I heard you were dying. Is it really true then?
It is.
Never liked you. Not because of you, you understand, but because of your work. And you may think that's funny, coming from a dirty cop, from a family of dirty cops. But there's a big difference between my relationship with God and yours. I think we can agree. But I wouldn't stand in the way of any man being spared the fate ahead of you. It's all true, Jimmy. The healings are real. And all you have to do is ask for it. And give of your talents in return.
And what is that supposed to mean? You cryptic iris.
Lou Malone. I think we both agree, even though he's my blood. He was never really much good for anything. But he had a way of telling stories. He had a way of making people laugh. And that talent was worth it. They healed him. And all they did was ask him to tell stories, tell jokes, and lighten the load of those you see all around you working. Sing a few songs, tell a few stories. Now, someone like me, I'm an officer of the law. And now I patrol here.
Okay. Here's the real information. I won't tell the boss that you left Mickey's body being profanated. If, only if, you let me tonight do what I have to do. I have a job to do here tonight.
I really wish you'd sit down with me. I'd say we should go have a drink, except, well, none of us really do that anymore.
I don't drink.
Well then,
I never did.
Man,
I never did.
maybe that's why you were so hard to get along with.
That is why I was good at what I was doing.
Well, I won't argue with you about that. Let me put it to you very plainly. What happened to Mickey was Mickey's decision. Mickey gathered us up, his 5 favorite cops, and he delivered us to the Morgans. We made our deal with the Morgans. I'll tell you this plainly. It's a better deal than I ever got on the take from Mickey. But Mickey changed his mind. He wanted more. He broke faith with his new partners. And he's running around somewhere Doing Lord knows what. He could have been here with us, keeping people safe, keeping the streets clean, making a lot of money, Jimmy. You wouldn't believe the money. And no need for any of the vices that used to pay for all of our private lives. Everyone you see is getting paid.
So you're trying to make me believe that the fist of honesty, playing behind the boss back, Wisdom Morgan.
Yes.
You have balls.
I also have proof.
I will need those proof, because I won't. Otherwise, I know somebody who's not gonna be happy. And hey, I'm telling you, Big Mike, I'm retired, but there is a new kid on the block. He's good and he's way worse than I would ever imagine.
You talking about that Christ kid?
I don't know about nobody. His name.
I have proof. And I can show you right now. We don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to take any risks. Working for the boss. Working for your boss. Maybe it's different for you, because I hear you guys were friends way back when. But for the rest of us, we got money and risk. Used up, burned out, broken, and thrown away. Morgan offered Mickey something. He offered him a life free from death.
Mickey wanted it.
If you want the proof, all you have to do is feel my heart. Go on.
I put my hand on his heart.
There is no heartbeat. And the lungs only move for him to speak. You see?
Take my hand back. I understand. I understand.
The world's a very
So-
different place than you know, Jim.
Oh, seems it's surprising every day.
The healing is
So-
real.
I know.
Healing is real.
I understand, and I spoke with one of these people from the future, people in the future, advocate on the street. They gave me an appointment.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm supposed to meet them tomorrow. There's an event Yeah, I think there's an event or something. I'm supposed to go there, but I'm not sure. That's why I asked the question earlier. But that's very impressive. That's very impressive.
Well, if you don't want to
Uh,
wait for tomorrow, I could introduce you.
you mean right now?
Why wait?
Okay. Can you give me a few minutes though? I oh no, I follow you. No, let's see. I'm curious. Let's go. After you, old pal.
Let's walk side by side, like people who are pretending to be friends do.
The Malone. The Malone. I follow him along.
He's walking away from the factories, away from the housing, away from the small restaurants, the laundries, toward more and more warehouses, closer and closer to the main O'Shaughnessy warehouse, which is now a bright green and white with a huge name, Morgan, spread across it, almost like a taunt. The roads around these warehouses are all being redone. The potholes being, dug up and filled in.
As I walk there with him, I take a look around for doors, entryways, locations, and demographics, like the people there, the number of people, civilians, not civilians.
There's a surprising number. It stands out. There's a surprising number of people who are injured in some way. You know, scars, burns, missing fingers, young people, old people, men, women, healthy, in good shape, worker types, and not. And lots of talking. In each group of workers or each group of cleaners, there's someone there to explain or help or teach what needs to be done. And patiently. Can you imagine living this way, Jimmy?
Oh, I can. I wonder if I'll meet the people I was supposed to see tomorrow here. Can we get out? Can we go inside? Is it possible? Can you introduce me to the leader of this congregation?
We're heading down the street. See, they've set up a tent next to the water on the old Murphy Wharf. We're going there. You have any questions for me before we get there?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm curious. I want
Well,
to
judging
see.
by your reaction, I'm not the first person you've met who's no heartbeat.
That's the thing I wanted to tell you. In exchange of this information you gave me, it's no. I saw Lou Malone. I saw him being in a critical condition. I saw him stand up again. I heard stories. I heard a lot of stories. I've seen a lot of people with weird situations in the last 2 days. It's a weird situation. I'm not I'm not. I'm kind of look at. It's kind of weird to say, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I can't say I'm not disappointed.
Why?
Come on. I expected, I don't know, I expected more of a reaction, but you're like, hmm.
Look, I I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things in my life. I've seen a lot of things in the last couple of days. I've seen a lot of things today, and I'm dying. I don't even know if I'm gonna finish the day today or if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. So it's just I look at him. I have these dead eyes, and there's just no expression on the face. I'm like, I want to see. I heard what you tell me here is this. I'm more surprised with what you said about the fist, about Mickey. I'm more surprised about that. Just to be honest, Big Mike, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to
Oh,
disappoint you.
I know. He's always loyal, right? Loyal to the boss. But you know, if there's one thing we can say about the Fist is he was selfish.
Nah, who is not? Who is not?
I think all men are selfish, but like that? Nah.
I kind of no. I I
Sorry for
want
the
to see
long
it.
walk.
I want to see it in action. I'm sorry, Big Mike. It's been
Go
a long day.
go in the tent. Be honest. They don't want your secrets. They don't want to take anything from you. Be honest.
I nod with my hat, put my hands in my pocket, and I walk slowly toward the tent.
He heads off back in the direction that you came from. The tent is a colorful carnival tent, and it has a smell of, having been stored a little wet, right? But now in the bright winter sunlight with the ocean breezes blowing through it, it's not too bad, but that heavy, wet canvas smell. Underfoot are the well worn wooden planks of a wharf, and it's covering the wharf from one side to the other, this pier out into the water. And inside, there's row after row of low wooden benches, very quickly and cheaply made. Not varnished, not painted, just raw wood. Two rows of them, like in a church, and there's space to walk down the sides of the tent, and there's space to walk down the middle. And at the other end of the tent, at the end of the wharf, there's a small riser for maybe three or four people could stand on, so everyone on the benches can easily see them. Not too high, just a little bit higher. And there are a few small groups of people on the benches, twos and threes, group of four, right? And they're just quietly talking to each other. And there are two people on the riser at the end, kind of looking out over the crowd.
I take my hat off as I enter, and I walk in the middle, slowly toward the riser, and I sit on the front row on the left, quietly, and I listen. I listen to what I hear around, and I look at the people on the riser trying to figure out what they say.
In the first few minutes, those people are just listening. And around you, the conversation is very low, right? And a personal, right? And that's what they're talking about. They're talking about personal things like family, children, and money and food. And from the back of the tent, through a small slit in the canvas, tall, thin, well dressed man comes in the room, comes in under the tent. It's very pale. It's hard to say what stands out about him the most, whether it's the tattooed face or the lack of any color in his eyes. They're just white with two pricks of darkness. And he points. And near the back, one person is being told, "Go, go, they're ready for you." There's excitement. And they move down the side aisle toward this man.
Stand there, and I make a little sign, politely holding my hat in front of me, politely to the people on the riser, the two people on the riser. I want to talk to you. Can I talk to you?
One, middle aged, heavy set, she turns and mentions something to her companion. And she steps down off the riser and comes towards you. May I sit with you?
Oh, of course, man. Please, man, sit down.
Oh, I haven't sat down all day. Sit down. Welcome.
No, thank you for having me around.
Did you get any food?
Here. Oh no, thank you. I'm not hungry. I uh,
You
I
look
came on an
hungry.
I'm very sick, man. Very sick.
Oh,
I I came from an invitation I received from a young man. A young man. Uh, what's his name? What's his name? He was on the street for the people in the future. He was talking on the street with a bunch of
sure.
people.
Yes, there we have many. We have many
I
young men.
think Robert Altman. Is that so?
Oh, Robert. Oh, you just missed him.
I think Altman. Yeah,
Yeah.
Robert. And he said I could
He's a
come
lovely
in.
boy.
Oh, it seems like it. He
I
said I
think he
could come
probably
here.
told you to come tomorrow.
He did. He did. But I met a guy named policeman named Michael Malone
Oh,
earlier on the
Officer
street
Below.
today. Yeah, and
Right.
he told
He's
me
a
to come
handsome
here.
man.
He's uh he's
Maybe not
big.
your type.
He's tall. But anyway, so he told me to come here since I'm sick. He heard I was dying. He said you should come here and be honest. I'm here and I'm being honest.
Are you afraid of dying?
I don't know. I don't know, to be quite honest. Feels like it could be a relief.
You're in pain?
Yes. He's
It,
acting all nervous. I'm acting all nervous. You know, with the hat. I put the hat on the side. I kind of crack my fingers. I kind of move. I do this little movement of nervousness and placing my pants.
this disease, it's new in your life. You haven't had it your whole life.
Oh no, I think so. I received my diagnosis a couple months ago.
And how did that change how you feel about yourself?
It changed everything. You see, man, uh, I've done some bad things, and and you do bad things for a living, and then eventually you learn that your life is soon to be over. There's a paradox. It's paradoxical, you know. Uh, if I die, it's the end of the bad things that I'm doing.
And
But
no
at the same time,
opportunity to make them right.
no opportunity to make them right. But if I live, what else am I gonna do? I don't know anything else. But I heard I can be healed. And an old friend of mine got healed coming to see you guys. So I'm kind of curious. I'd like to know. I'd like to see. I'd like to talk with the magician or the holy person or the how what you want to call it, man.
The person who was chosen has been having a conversation with the man with the unusual eyes on the riser, and the two of them exit through the back of the tent. Will you tell me your name?
My name is Jim Calloway.
And the police officer, Big Mike Malone, he knows all about you.
He
Would
knows.
that be
He knows.
correct?
He knows stuff. He knows things.
All right. So then, if we had a talk about you and your bad things, if I could show you that I understand you, you might think that he told me your secrets, right?
I'm not sure I understand, man, what you mean. I'm sorry. I'm old and I'm a little slow. What do you mean?
Well, he told you to come in and be honest because
Yes.
anyone here who is looking to have their life changed, to have their future, their dead future, cut away, and their new living future grafted on, like an unhealthy tree branch cut from the trunk, and a healthy branch grafted in its place. Anyone chosen for this must come to it honestly, not hiding things. But if I show you I understand you by talking with you about your secrets, I'm not sure that you would trust me because I might be learning them from Big Mike.
Listen, what can I say? Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't come here. What do you think?
I think you've been sitting in hospitals and thinking about the past. I think you've been thinking about choices that you didn't make, that orders that you followed. I think maybe you've been thinking about how much you enjoyed some of the violence. I think you've been thinking about your father and your mother.
Okay, ma'am. You are right. Oh, you're right. That's exactly what I've been thinking. With these endless confusions, alone in this cold hospital, that's exactly what I've been thinking. And I don't think Michael Malone has anything to do with that. I think you
Okay.
just see it. I think you just see it. You just understand it.
Uh, okay.
I think you understand it because it's true.
It's true. I see it in you. Did you tell Big Mike Malone about the skinless man?
Not directly. Why?
If you told him, then if I know, again, you don't have to believe that I see you. If you didn't tell him, then maybe you can believe a little bit that I see you and I see the future you could have, the person you could be.
Well, maybe I should come tomorrow then.
Something I'm not clear about.
Oh, I told you my name, but you didn't tell me yours. What's your name, man?
It's true. I didn't. I'm not sure I want to give my name to someone who's considering so seriously setting fire to everything we've built.
I understand. But if we want to establish trust, and I'm telling you all truth, I'm not lying. If we want to establish a good relationship, that should have your name. Don't you think?
All right.
Just as a common courtesy, just like we do in Saudi.
I'll tell you my first name. My name's Agnes.
Listen, that's true. I wanted to come here to keep the place on fire. That's true. But one thing that is not true is that I wanted to come here and destroy what you've built.
Oh, Oh, I see the distinction. I'm very happy about it either way. You'll understand.
I, I understand. Now, you see, I am in a terrible situation. I'm in a terrible situation, which is the things that I do and the proposition that I have here to live a better life. Friendship that I have, it's kind of like being cut between the tree and its skin. So the bark, the tree and the bark, kind of like being cut in between. It's just the whole
Trapped.
thing my father, yeah, I'm stopped. It's the whole thing my father used to say. So I don't know what else I can tell you. It's true. And what I'd like to do right now is run away as far as I can from this place.
Hmm.
And and I don't mean running from here or from you. I'm running from this life. I die. I'm, I'm just very, very.
The man who was called when you caught my eye with your polite whisper. He wasn't here to be healed. Well, not physically healed. He's been suffering. He's been unable to work. He's been unable to think clearly. Because a few months ago, he had to bury his child. He's worked hard. He's an excellent carpenter. He's helped rebuild so much of this area. And he's taught people well. And it's been very hard for him because all he can think about is all the mistakes, all the things he didn't do, all the things he didn't say. But in a few minutes, Mr. Calloway, he's going to come back through that curtain with his child.
Can I wait? See that?
I'd like you to. While we're waiting, maybe you could tell me about your mother.
Well, my mother, I look away with dead eyes and I don't look her in the eyes. I just look at nothing. It's about she died
In childbirth.
giving giving birth to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to say that I killed her. I don't want to say that I started my life doing exactly what I've been doing since the beginning. I don't know, but Never met her. That's all I know about her. I've seen some pictures.
She too can be a part of your future.
When
She reaches
when
out, she pats you on the back in a motherly way.
when I hear that, I kind of become nervous. I grab my hat. I grab my hat and I say, "Man, thank you for the talk. Thank you for your time. I very appreciate it."
Anytime, Mr. Calloway.
I stand up. I nod and I gently turn around and go up in the middle lane toward the exit.
No one stops you.
And I leave. I go back on the dock, go back toward the car, look around if I see look around for some Morgan, if I can see them, throughout the civilians.
Malcolm's by the car. Doesn't really seem to be anybody who. What does a Morgan look like? No obvious gangsters.
I I go toward Malcolm at the car. I said, "You, where's the other guys? Have you any news from JC and Randall?"
Not back yet.
Not back yet. Okay. Well, let's uh let's wait a couple minutes and then head back at the bus. What you think?
Yeah, so I went to a couple of the old speakeasies. I had to walk almost all the way to Chinatown to find one that was still a speakeasy. They didn't have any. They didn't have any booze. No alcohol at all.
I get closer to Malcolm. I say, "Okay, so you're telling me that you driving me around drinking booze, and you're telling me that when I told you to stay at the car, you left and walked to Chinatown? Is that what you're telling me?"
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not drinking, but I just thought, I could get some. I could get some information that was useful.
I have my blackjack in my pocket as a as a wrist, right around my wrist, but in a very swift and gesture, I go and I poke him in the liver real quick.
Okay. He steps back. So I'd like the blackjack.
In a swift movement, when I notice that he steps back, I step forward to make sure that I hit the liver.
Okay. And
Say, hey, I
his
say,
strong,
you lie to me?
his strong young hand clamps down. Hey, I know you're important, but I'm not taking that crap from anybody. I didn't do anything wrong. Now settle down, old man.
Okay, no problem. You lie to me. You do that again, I won't see you again.
I didn't lie to you.
You say you want to gather information in a speakeasy looking for booze. That's not gathering information. That's
Yes, it
trying to
is.
drink. That's trying to drink on the job, Malcolm. You're trying to drink on the job. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back home. You're gonna drive me right to the bus, and I'm gonna tell the bus what? That the young kid is going to do an important job looking for booze in a speakeasy. Is that what I understood?
I think you should tell him that they're not making money from booze. They're not selling it.
I um I kind of wrap the blackjack back again under my sleeve, and I take my hat off, put it on the car. I I kind of put my hair back on the side. I say, okay, Malcolm. Okay, listen. Um, I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
I don't know
I
why
made
it
a
is you
mistake.
guys always want to. You forget I've been working with Mickey the Fist O'Shaughnessy. You step out of line, the first thing he hits you. Nobody talks.
Listen, nobody said it was an easy job, but Malcolm, I'm sorry. And I put my hand in front of him. I'm sorry. And he say can. I say can. I put my hat back, put it on. It's a long day, and
I didn't
there
I
are
didn't mean to call you
the
an old man.
I don't know. I am old. No worry. You're right. That's at least that's speaking the truth. I know I can trust you now. I know I can trust you now. Sorry about that,
Sorry I
Malcolm.
left the car. I'm always
No,
left
no,
with the car, so I wanted to do something
it's
to
no
get
problem.
some attention.
No, it's no problem, and the attention is good because it's good information. So it's great work. But things are getting complicated, and we need to go back at the bus as soon as possible. So as soon as these guys are coming, is Randall a good pal?
Yeah, yeah, he's blood, so what can I say?
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell me the truth, just like you did.
Well, if he's not back at the car, I'm pretty sure he's talking to some girl.
Mm. So we wait.
He gets bored really easy.
So we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait until they come. Give them maybe 20 minutes.
JC returns with him, and he looks upset. And every few steps pushes him from behind, like just to remind him that he's in trouble.
When I see them, I go over my head like that. I open the door. I sit in the back. Malcolm, please start the car. Let's go. Let's go at the bus. Let's go at the bus, please.
The other two pile in. JC with you.
As we drive toward the bus's place, I speak with JC in the back. What did you see?
Well, all of this, I saw all of the O'Shaughnessy businesses gone. Everybody's got a job. Everybody's well fed. And 3 blocks in that direction, people are starving to death.
I saw the same thing. Any sign of Mickey?
No, nothing. I think I saw one of the Malone boys.
I saw him. I spoke with him.
I saw Billy. Did you see Billy
Billy.
Malone?
No. What about him?
Well, I saw him. He didn't see me. I followed him for a bit, but he didn't seem to be doing anything except his job. It's the first time I've seen him do that, so I followed him for a while because that was interesting. But then I thought I'd head back toward the car, and I found this young idiot had made it maybe 100 yards away from the car before he was talking to some skirt.
I understand. Okay. Look, we need to talk to the boss. So I'm gonna report to him, and we'll see about tonight. What do you guys think, boys?
I think we might need more men.
Oh, not only that. Not only that. Safety, not only that. It's complicated.
More complicated than the photographer's studio.
It's part of the complicated. Hey, Malcolm, can you please make a detour at Rory's place?
His house or his mistress's?
Let's go at his house.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So he has to pull over the side of the road and, head back into Boston proper. Christ leans a little closer to you, his voice a little quieter. Says, "You ever think about quitting?"
That's exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
I don't mean now. I mean at the beginning.
Mm. Nah, I'm a simple-minded man. I don't ask myself these kind of questions.
You
You
ever seen
see?
anything like we saw today?
No, I did not. I did not. And I'm looking outside in the window, and I kind of exhale, and I say no, 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 like that, no. I we see a lot of things in these kinds of dub, but that I did not see before.
It kind of falls silent. And the country road heading out toward the boss's estate turns back into urban. Lines of men waiting for work, lines of children waiting for bread. And then deeper into the city, the trolleys and the carts, right? All this life. But somehow downtown Boston lacks color compared to the docks. Rory's house is actually an apartment. High up. Malcolm pulls over. I don't know if his wife's there. Fiance. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Can you guys please wait for me in the car? It won't be long.
Everybody agrees.
All right, so I get out of the car, put my hat on, and I walk towards his apartment.
This has doormen, right? Nice uniforms, shiny buttons, right? This first wave of doormen, they just open the door. They'll open the door to anybody. Then in the lobby, you'll have to say where you're going. But they know you.
I arrive, take my hat off, I nod, I put my hair, and I just.
You're escorted to the elevator. The elevator operator, he's looking old, too. You know? Anyway, not as young as when Rory moved into this place. And he just
I
says,
enter.
Mr. O'Shaughnessy's.
Yes, please.
So he closes the door, sends the elevator up the shaft. It's a fine day.
I've seen better days, thank you. What about yourself?
Well, they told me it was sunny outside. Can't really tell.
Yeah,
Sorry
well,
you're not feeling well.
oh, it's okay. It'll pass.
Here's your floor.
Have you seen Sir O'Shaughnessy recently?
Oh, yes. He came in a few hours ago.
Oh, thank you. At least I won't. I won't. At least I'll be. I'll see. At least I'll see him.
He might be asleep. Well,
I understand.
I'll wait.
No problem. Thank you very much. So I get out of the elevator, turn left, third door on the right, and I listen. My ear to the door.
high heels on wood floors.
I knock.
The heels come closer. There's a brief flicker of light as the eye hole cover is moved aside. And then, very loudly, someone wants you to hear this. The door unlocks, opens, and the heels are walking away from the door without even checking to see if you come in.
I open the door slowly, and I enter. I look inside. I enter slowly.
And she calls over her shoulder, her long black hair, right? Moving beautifully. He's in the other bedroom. And she heads into the main bedroom.
I nod, and I go into the other bedroom.
Rory's sitting on the floor, his knees up against his chest, his arms wrapped around his knees. He's sitting between the bedstand and the wall. So it's just a guest room. There's a bureau. There's a simple bed. There's a bedstand on each side of the bed with a lamp. Right. He's as far away from the door as he can get in the corner, all wrapped around himself. His clothes are wrinkled and dirty. No hat. His hair's a mess.
Hey, kiddo, what's going on? What happened? You weren't supposed to come back. I've been looking for you. I've been looking for you for days. The whole day. Where have you been? I saw your car. Your car was on the street with kids
Is that my
around
car?
it.
Did
What happened to you? What happened with Caleb McGinnis? Did you get the medallion? The boss is gonna be pissed, kiddo.
it's not gonna matter.
Take my hat off. I put it on the bed. I slowly get closer. I got a chair. Put it back. I sit on the chair, and I kind of get lower on my knee, with my elbow on my knee to get closer to him on the ground. Now you better tell me the story.
It's like he's shutting down. Not gonna cry or anything like that, but just thinking about him, right? Muscles are tensing. It's going to be hard to get him to open up.
As I bent over to start talking with him, my head turned, it spins, and I get like a nausea that come up. So I kind of like fall back on me, and I started sweating. So I'm like, "Oh, oof." And I tried to kind of like make some air. Come on, kiddo. The day has been very long. Please let me know what's going on. What happened to you?
Maybe it's concern for you. Maybe the secret's too heavy to carry. But he looks up, right into your eyes. I went to McGinnis's place. He was supposed to be there. Some guy on the ground floor said he was there. I don't think he was there. But one of the O'Riordan boys was there. And I just asked him, where's Callum? You're supposed to watch him. Where's Callum? And before he could answer, he was lifted off of the floor by nothing. And his clothes, they fell through him. And his skin ripped off him, but up. And then I ran.
I believe you. I believe you. I saw the body. I saw the skin. Where did you go? Why didn't you use your cat? Come on, Rory.
I just ran.
You just ran. What do you mean just ran? You have an extra car on the street for the kids to play with? And the local gangster to... Yeah, man. Okay. Listen. I understand, Rory.
I had to
Look,
get away.
I'm gonna back you. Stay here tonight. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't do anything foolish. I'm gonna go back at the bosses, and I'm gonna say that I found you and that you're okay. And what about you and I go for dinner tomorrow, like I was supposed to do? It's on me. Come on, Rory. Come on, kiddo.
It's not the money, Jimmy. It's how do we know who's really wearing people's skins? We'll close the session for tonight.
Yeah. It's always a relief. Every time this
Thank God
session,
it's over.
ah, Jesus Christ. The thing is that it's so demanding to same character and try to stay true to everything that's going on. There's so much things going on. So much thing going. There's so much thing going on. For real. For real. It's loaded. That's the word I have. It's loaded. Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
You had a lot of fun? What was your favorite part?
Um, I have two favorite parts. I guess they're tied for favoriteness. Um, I wasn't sure what to expect from Officer Malone, Big Mike. Right. Just to make it a little fun for myself, there were a number of Malones, as you discovered later, that were patrolling down there. And so,
Yeah, and Lou Malone. Lou Malone is the first NPC.
yes, but Lou Malone's not a cop, right?
Yeah.
So if you remember, Mickey the Fist disappeared with 5 corrupt cops.
Yeah,
Okay, so these
I have it
guys
in
are
my notes.
all Malones.
Yeah.
So if or when you went down to the docks, there's a chance related to luck that you would cross paths with a Malone, but I didn't want to decide which Malone that might be. So I gave myself just a little roll of the dice to determine which it was going to be. So you got Big Mike. And in this
I
campaign
didn't.
from
I
in
did
this
not
campaign
notice
from
you. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry.
I just have my dice right here and I can just
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, and you have a little map, so it's silent.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I hate that. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's another. That's a thing that I need now. Okay, keep going.
So
Yeah.
the thing that's been happening with some of these NPCs, right? Like we talked about when you built your character and everybody else, like we go through and we take a look at how how the characteristics shape who the character might be, and that suggests personality and suggests capability and limitations and things. So when I build these NPCs, I have an idea of who they are, but and sometimes that comes out exactly as I imagined it, and other times I'm surprised by who the person is. And I did not expect Big Mike to be as cheerful as he was. So it was kind of fun to discover that what was hiding inside the statistics and hiding inside my mental image of Big Mike was this really sarcastic and like you can imagine him out with his friends and he's the guy who's always teasing you about stuff that you did, right?
I see a shadow to Sean Connery here, isn't it? I felt
Malone?
Sean Connery, like, yeah, because of the
Yeah.
Malone and the cop that spin his thing, because
Yeah.
that's exactly what he does. He's walking on the dock, he's spinning the thing, and his name is Malone.
Right. So all the Malones come from that idea. That's my homage to
Yeah, that's your
John
shout out,
Connor.
your homage. Yeah, your homage.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed it. Yeah.
So which Malone are you going to get? So that was fun. And then
Yeah.
having the character surprise me, that's fun. I had this happen in Brian's with one of his coworkers. Was not at all what I was expecting in play. And there's another character in Ivan and Brian's branch that's really different. So it's just kind of fun when that happens. That was a fun thing. And the second fun thing was the conversation with Agnes.
For sure. For sure. That was intense. That was intense. That was very intense. I I was. It's the first time that happens to me as a player in RPG. I don't play often. I prefer DMing for sure. But these kind of player experience is what it's very rare that you can get one of those, and they are hard to come by, at least in my experience, because it demands practice and demands a lot of attention and a lot of intentionality. And I'm sitting there completely torn apart. I have like 5 moral decisions to make at the same time, kind of. It's very complicated, very dilemmic. It's a
Right.
dilemma. So I was there, I was listening to what he was saying, and like completely. And there are. I have a technical question. Like there are a few things, like the beating art and the her telling me all my life story and my thoughts and all that.
Why no sanity roll?
Yeah, why no sanity? Because I see the worst. So we need to climb up the the ante,
With
raise the ante.
with the heartbeat coming so close on the heels of the skinless man, I just felt just
Yeah.
anticlimax there,
Yeah.
regardless of pass or fail. So
Mhm.
um, just that isolation of shock, I felt was a better use of that moment. Right? There's no reaction. With her, well, there's always doubt. This is just a conversation.
Mhm. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. She was on point though, but it's easy because I told her at one point, I was like, yeah, that's true, but that's the kind of stuff any divination practitioner is gonna do. Yeah,
Right.
did you think about your dying man? You look sick. You're dying. You're here. You wouldn't hear if you're not dying. Okay. So what do you do when you're dying? You think about your parents? All right. kind
Now,
of, kind of for sure.
but I'll keep this experience in my pocket, and should you have more interactions with her, this might push a conversation into scary territory.
Well, now, so I was there. I listening, talking with her, and completely torn apart. I have the possibility to meet the tattooed spaceman. I have the possibility to speak with him or whatever. I have the possibility to get healed, or maybe, or get immortality, the whole 9 yards. It's right there. And he's very, just like the devil speaking in your ear, like, hey, don't you do you want your mother back? I'm like, I'm out of here. Nah, you don't go there. So I stand up and I leave. But at the back of my mind, at the same time, I'm thinking about Rory. I'm thinking about the boss. I'm thinking about the pit. And I'm like, what the is going on? And I don't want to, and the boss, I had to make a decision between, am I just, it's you, and maybe I should not tell you what I think if we
That's
want
up
to
to you.
keep it. Yeah, I want to. Do you prefer as the GM to know what I think as a player, or you'd rather be surprised by what I'm gonna do or how it's gonna go? Because
I hope I hope it comes out in play, I guess is
it will come out in play because I never know what's gonna happen. But at the same time, I mean, now I have decision to make. I have some decision to make and some conversation to have. It's very sorry about that. It's very hard. It's now I'm very. I've never been in such a level of moral dilemma in an RPG as a player. And you, what did you like about this conversation
I
with
really
Agnes?
liked that you left. It made the conversation realer, more real to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Um, and there's things that she's saying and things she's deciding not to say. Right. This is an opportunity for me just to role play as if I were a player character in the scene. Right. I
Mm-hmm.
step down off the riser. We sit down on the bench. And although from time to time I needed to say something about what was going on in the tent around the conversation, really we're role playing. I don't know what you're thinking. You don't know what I'm thinking, right? And we are connecting
Mm-hmm.
with that
Oh
information.
yeah. Oh,
And
it was completely real. From my part, didn't know anything what was going on. I was I was baffled. Is that the right word? I was baffled by what you were saying. I was just,
Right.
is that what's happening right now? Wow. that, in my head, I was about to burn down a warehouse on the dock.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, when you make a decision as a player of a game, there's lots of people like, oh, well, yeah, I'm gonna sign on right now, and we'll just keep going. How far down does this rabbit hole go? But it was
Yeah.
great. It's like enough, right? This is a conversation I
Yeah.
don't want to have. This is a topic I don't want to enter. These are
There,
thoughts I
yeah.
don't want to have.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And there are some players that just they say yes, yes, and I go and I go and I go and I go and they just go on until the end, and it's kind of like a railroad. Maybe that's why we have the railroad word, because sometimes the player I made videos about that way back where
What should I do?
what should I do? And the red herring, the red thing. Oh, there's a tiny thing. Oh, there's a tent. Oh, I'm gonna go to the tent. Oh,
Right.
there is a riser. I'm gonna go to the riser. Oh, there are some people there. I'm gonna go talk to them. Oh, and it's kind of like the breadcrumb effect. And
Sure.
I find it very boring. And sometimes you get stuck, and it's not because of the GM or the player. It's because of the conversation we have. It's like I'm looking around. Okay, so if you say you look around, I'm gonna tell you what you see. Oh, I'm jumping on what I see. Oh, okay, so you go to there. So it becomes that very linear thing, and it takes away authenticity sometimes, because life is more chaotic than that,
Right.
and I think it's a thing that I don't know. It's very hard to avoid. Me, when I decided to leave, it was just you went to the mother. When you went to the mother, I said no, dad, no, no. Calloway is not going there. Calloway is not going there. Um, even how appealing that can be, he's just not going there.
Right.
I don't know. It's just so I said, you know what, I'm gonna leave. And these people are weird. There's something weird going on here.
There's something weird.
That is definitely something weird. And then my instinct to go about Rory, well, it gave you an opportunity. I wanted to break that cycle. Okay, we'll go to the bus, we'll go to the bus. I wanted to break it. I wanted something fresh, and I knew that if I did that, I could work on my art with that's the player. That's the player. The Calloway still wanted to see about Rory. That's for sure, because it was the main thing, and the warehouse situation is way more complicated than it was supposed to be. And now that I know that Mickey's body is walking around, it's like, okay, Rory, we need to go about see about Rory. So for me, it made some sense that the riding around we should go there before going to the bus. We have time. It's the end of the afternoon about. So it's like, okay, we have time. Let's try that. And so I was curious if you would me as the player, I was curious about that. But as the character, I was curious as well, and I was very happy, very pleased to see him. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. I was like, oh, he's not a walking zombie. He's not a I don't know what it is, but So
Of course, you didn't feel his chest.
I didn't feel yeah, well, yeah. And this is where now it's getting even more twisted. And there is this thing where it slowly gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
So did
Yeah.
you it works. It works. So um did you understood my role when
Yeah.
I succeed and I fail? Because I succeed half and failed half
Right.
today. Yeah. You noticed?
I noticed. Yeah. No trouble.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I should. Oh, your sanity loss.
Yeah, what about that?
That's
Uh
pretty significant. It's 3
yeah, so
points.
it's fiat. So it's not about the dice.
It is about the dice.
Oh, okay. So when did I? Okay, so can I understood? Can I understand how I lost them? Because I don't know. Maybe the rules are too far away now.
You roll, pass or fail, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you fail, I roll to determine how much.
Oh. Okay. That's why. And I failed. But I succeed my sanity test, isn't it? Yeah, I succeed.
In the beginning with the skinless man,
Yeah, I succeed because I said that going back, confident behind him, put my hand on his mouth, and then you said sanity, and I stayed there, confident. If I would have lose, I would have take away my hand. I would have. So that one you did not understood.
well, that was your reaction was to back away
No, my
and
reaction
then
was not to back away. My reaction was to I when I noticed that he was that I succeed. I I think I don't remember now.
well, I think both things happened, and I interpreted one
Okay,
part one way, and so that's important.
okay.
That's good to have the
It's
conversation.
yeah. So I succeed. The one that I failed was the persuade.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, but it's okay. So 370 points.
No, no. If you pass, then there's no reason to
Okay, there's
lose
no
it.
reason. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, so I did not. Yeah, I got this. The one that I failed today was the persuade and the two persuade. I failed to persuade Rory at the end with the nausea and I'm warm, and I failed the persuade to persuade the. Did I fail to persuade? Why did I? Yeah, I failed to persuade the skinless individual. That's why we left. Yeah, that's why we left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was no getting through to.
Yeah. For me, it was no. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can. Yeah. So I failed my persuade today, and the rest I got the blackjack. I got the blackjack,
Yes.
but you
I
you felt
also
like
my defense. Yeah.
that's what it meant. Oh, okay, that's what it meant. I was like, okay, so did he understood that I achieved the blackjack?
Yeah.
It's you know that's kind of those things, but in play I don't care. It's afterward that we speak about it. Yeah. So
Yeah. And
if I suc
combat's pretty simple. So there's no initiative roll or any of those things. So we don't have to interrupt for that. So somebody's always going to be a little faster,
Mhm.
and so you roll. You're successfully going to hit him. Right? It is possible for him to try to defend, which is why I interrupted your
Mhm.
your narration of victory with the agony of defeat. Right?
Yeah, well, the hand there, and it was a cool moment that one as well because I'm like, you lied to me, and then he's like, I didn't lie, I didn't lie. I'm gathering information. I'm like, oh, actually, that's kind of true. So I decided to change my mind. I'm like, you know what? I'm fair. I'm fair play, man. The reason, the more I get to know Jimmy Calloway is that the reason why people respect him is because he's fair. He's respectful. He's not like arrogant or condescending or he's not. He's fair and respectful. He will admit when he's wrong and stuff like that, but he's ruthless. So it's two things that when you put them together, usually brings respect. If you are a
Right.
ruthless individual and a capable individual, and on top of that you're respectful, you know, it shows a lot of strength.
Yeah.
In whatever you do in life, you can be an accountant. You could be an accountant with these two values. No, it was a cool game, but I'm not very proud of my role play though. I was tired today, and it showed in my role play. You see, that's the thing. It's probably in all the sessions we had, this is the one I described the less. This is the one I tried to move faster in terms of actions and reactions and story, like not story, but events happening. I don't know if you've noticed that I was not describing a lot of my mental state. I was not describing a lot of. I wanted to try that intentionally to see what you thought about that. But I was also tired, very tired this morning. So it was hard for me to be consistent in the Callaway attitude. It's one of those
Right.
days. But did you notice?
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if you were trying out a reduced style to talk less about the character and
Yeah.
just talk more as the character, or if it was a side effect of being up so
Yeah.
early and being tired.
Yeah, it's I think it's a combination of the two, but I did it on purpose. I wanted it to move it faster. Last game, I took the time to go breakfast with the boss and describe how I drink the coffee kind of thing. Today, I was like, okay, next scene, next scene, next scene. Let's see about the ducks. Let's see about the car. Let's see about and what it produced two different things in terms of experience. I think it's less slow. It's more dynamic, but it might be less rich. You know, in terms of ambiance, aesthetic.
But
What's
it's a
your
different kind, right? Like if you're communicating your imagination to me, now I'm imagining at some point what you would like me to imagine. But if that's not communicated, then I'm imagining what I'm imagining. And so there's a more, it's more immediate. Now it can become colorless. Someone in the room might not be imagining anything, and so without the description, their play will be flat, which will pull everybody down, right? But if you have imaginative people who are imagining,
Mhm.
then they're taking the actions, reactions, and interactions, and the rest is populating itself according to the way they imagine. So you've described what Jimmy looks like and how he moves. That's been firmly established. So now that's how I imagine him
So I don't have to talk about his crux and his penguin stance anymore. That much.
anymore. That's
Or
what I meant.
anymore.
But
Yeah.
you might want to emphasize it at some point and reinforce it
Yeah.
in some important, or point out when it's not happening.
Yeah. That's a very good point. The fact that session 1 and 2 has established a lot of stuff. His posture is established, his aesthetic is established, the smoking, the stuff. Now I can do that a little bit less. The mental state as well, because we start to know the guy, we start to know a little bit more how he thinks and how he feels about himself, about the world, about the people. So but still, it's important sometimes to do it, for me at least, maybe, just for ambiance and for expressing
Yeah,
something.
because there are people who enjoy describing
Mental state.
what they're wearing, how they're moving,
Oh, yeah.
how they're feeling, what their expression is, right? And so I want to encourage that as well, right?
Yeah.
So
I did it a little with the hat, putting the hat, being nervous and stuff like that, because those are things that he's not doing. You know, being nervous on the chair next to a lady, that's not his style. But that was weird. That was very, very weird.
so I have one question. I have one question
Yeah,
for you.
go.
In the beginning, you wanted water from JC,
Yes.
and you moved him. You sent him off to get the water, and you brought him back with the water. And I was curious if you knew that you had done it.
Wow. I did not notice how much I did that. I remember that's a very good point. That is kind of like a lose control. It's like I said, go grab the water, please. You know, because I tossed him to the side to calm down the guy. So that's role play, but I
Well,
don't.
he
I
needed
did not
something to
con-
do because he's just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
what
I'm
to do.
like,
Yeah.
Go
Give
get
me
some
some water.
water
Yeah.
because I wanted him to, But did you told me that he came back with the water, or I said he's coming back? I just said he's coming
No.
back, and then I
I was
realized
I was I was waiting for a point to describe what I imagined his action was, and then I heard what his action was. And then when you watch it back, when it gets released, right, you'll see this little smile. Right, I look at
put a
I look at the
bubble, put
I
a
look at the
bubble
camera and
there.
I
Oh man,
smile.
that deserves a bubble. That
It'll have a
deserves a
bubble,
bubble.
yeah.
Because
And
that is a great example of that. The fact that not creating stuff can be as hard or as demanding or as
right,
sophisticated as creating stuff.
I
Being
think so.
able
Yeah,
to control yourself, being able not to do it, is also a tool and a skill. And in this game, I said to myself, I don't want to create anything, and I did it without even noticing. That's just a habit. Yeah, no, I did not notice, and it's not something that I want to do. So it just happened. Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's
And
interesting. That's a good question. That's very good.
I'm gonna watch carefully because I'm not sure right now. I'm confused now about the sanity loss in that scene. Right.
Maybe
Um,
I'm confused myself as well. I this morning I'm confused. I'm tired, but
yeah.
we
So
will
I know
remember.
I know that JC in that moment lost 3 points of sanity, and and I remember it as you also losing 3 points of sanity, but it quite easily could just be him.
Maybe because
So
I remember that I did not manage to persuade him, and my reaction was, I'm calling the ambulance. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna call the ambulance. So that was my reaction to let you know I'm not gonna get nothing from him, right?
and that is a wonderful little gift that has been given to all the other players.
Why?
Well, because an ambulance is going to show up.
Ah, okay. That's a world that is alive. That's a real world where people are intertwined.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's interesting. That's a little. Oh yeah, I called an ambulance, my friend. I will, oh wow, that's nice. And you know what? When this investigation is going to be over, and we're going to talk about that. Let's say we get a round table with everybody one day to
I
just
hope
talk
so.
about our ex. Oh, that would be fun. I would say I called the ambulance. You know,
Yeah.
It- hopefully they won't listen to this episode. And oh man, that was cool, and it's always a great pleasure. And what I noticed is that the idea of immersion, I do feel it very much here because I believe in the concept. The word
Right,
is so galvauded, but it's a thing, and it's a point of entry and a point of exit. That's the way I describe it now. The point of entry is the long silence at the beginning. In this campaign, in this investigation, that's what you do. You sit down, we take a breathe, we breathe in and out, there's a silence, and then you slowly start narrating.
right,
Now, that's the point of entry, and we don't get out until you close the curtain at the end, and you kind of do a hand gesture, yeah.
yeah,
And so that's the point of exit. So it's a sacred place. It's a sacred place that we have, and that's why in this one and this one I couldn't wait. I was like, finish it, please. I was like, I'm telling you, I started to say I want this to end
right,
when we were driving to Rory.
right.
So the whole elevator scene, getting in, I was like, I want this to finish. I'm tired. I'm exhausted by all this whole thing. And when you did this, I went, oh. And it's not because it was, you did a good cliffhanger, but it's not that. It's just yeah. I felt the pressure on my off my shoulder of being
Right.
that guy.
Being
It's
that
not
guy.
easy. Yeah, it's not easy to be that guy for a while. To be in his shoes and to be in that situation,
Yeah.
and so that for me is a good cue that immersion is happening when you have these two. And I think every group should consider having these two queues, a point of entry, no matter what queue it is, a point of entry and a point of exit. It could be a gong, just doing. Okay, we start now. It
Could
could
be, yeah.
be it could be anything. Just we start now, we end now, and we talk after or we talk before, and we put our attention at
We
what
give it
we
room,
do.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's the thing for me is that we start, let's say, with intention. We start speaking as the character. We start maybe modeling behaviors or gestures of the character. We start inhabiting the character. And then we fall into that rhythm of action, reaction, interaction as the character. And then the imagination starts to take root. And then we can pay attention to what we're imagining. We're paying attention to what the other people are saying. And if we're lucky, or if we're well established playing with these people in this place, in this time, in this way, then that immersive experience grows out of the attention. Right, where we're not really sure how much time has passed. And we have flashes of really intense mental imagery to
And now, and the question, one thing that is important in Call of Cthulhu is the pending questions. There are some questions that, I don't want to have to think about that question. I don't want to have to. I don't want to.
I don't want to answer that
It's
question. Yeah.
it's that feeling. It's that weird feeling. It's the first time I experienced the aesthetic of the mythos, and I understand why people like it now. Now I get it more. It's it's unsettling. It's very unsettling. That's the word I have.
Yeah.
It gives shivers a little bit. It's weird.
Yeah. Like it's an interesting dance, between like pure nihilism and the rise of existentialism because of the way that it's put into the weird stories. Like
Mm.
sometimes Lovecraft was really allowed to be very bleak, right? When there's other forces at work, more economic forces saying that there needs to be some action or there needs to be some stuff. So we have, as you go through the body of work that's produced by Lovecraft and the circle of writers with him, right? There's this sense of there is absolutely no meaning. You're in a cold and indifferent universe. Everything that you value is just a choice that you've made and honestly doesn't actually have any real value, right? It's not the relationship between ant and boot, right? You're not even an ant.
That's what it might have appealed to your generation that much, because the X generation was very very into that, the music, the culture. That's why I do think that it's a that's why the newer edition is more pulp, because of that. The new the my generation and the millennials after and all these guys, they're less into that dark nihilistic, no future or no meaning or whatever.
Right.
That it's more like, oh, we're here to have fun, so we need to be able to play around. That's why they want to push the roles in seventh edition maybe and stuff like that,
Well,
because they
also
want to
the
have
rise
maybe
the
the
dominance
rise
of
of,
story as a
yeah,
as a
story,
product.
yeah, in the hobby. That's in
Yeah.
the hobby, yeah,
But
in and of
buried in
itself.
Lovecraft also, like there's the Dreamlands, right? There's there's characters like Randolph Carter, right? And there are characters who are, in a sense, self-determining, right? They carve a meaning for themselves, right? They carve an understanding of themselves. They or at least come to terms with the horror and are able, however briefly, to say, "Not today." Right?
Yeah, I just
It's
did that.
It's
I
there
just
too,
did that.
and you
Yeah,
just did
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just did that. Yeah. And I know it's there in Lovecraft. Maybe that's why it's so good. Because you have that sweet balance between these two. Sweet balance. And that's what you created for me. With the Agnes character and the people in the future. That's exactly what you created for me as a player or for this character Jim Calloway. Now I have a choice. And
Yeah,
now that I have a choice, horror is gonna manifest in different ways, depending on the choice, depending on you know.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right, it was very
So
fun. I
good
gotta
work.
go. Yeah, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good work for you as well.
Thank you.
And I can't wait for the next one.
Enjoy your day of work. I'll
Thank
talk to
you.
you soon.
See you soon.